What is up, YouTube world? It's Jay, and in this video I'll be doing a live trading session of the Outback strategy, which is a strategy that I created for the trading floor group and proudly a part of. And so what I'll be going over is kind of like the gist of how to trade it, slightly the settings for it. You'll just have to pause the video and kind of look at those, and just to give you an idea of how it's done. And so what I have here is a MetaTrader account with FTMO. I just started a random free trial FTMO challenge, and so 5% is the goal tonight. I'd love to hit that, but we'll see how it goes. So with the Outback, it is on the 1 minute time frame, as you can see, and it is not prioritized by any pairs. You could literally trade any pair. For example, these 4 pink flags with these 4 pairs, I personally just don't like to trade these pairs, and that's okay. You don't have to trade all 28 Forex pairs, but it spans throughout majority of the day. You could trade this, and so in this case there's 3 raw indicators for this strategy. And so as you can see in the top left, you will see the Outback Indicator, and what this indicator is, it prints little kangaroos all over the place. And in order to get this, you have to be able to join our Discord group, aka TTF. And so what this allows you to do is it basically takes all 3 of these indicators and all the confluences that need to be met, and it'll just simply print out a kangaroo for you to make your life easier if you're not comfortable with reading RSIs and holes and moving averages. And so we just try to make your life easy for you there. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to drop down in the description below. There will be a link to join our server. So in that case, make sure you all like, comment, subscribe as well. Let us know if you like this content and if we should keep doing this and keep moving forward with this. And so let's get on with this. So ultimately with the Outback, like I said, it's the 1 minute, and we're also testing the 5 minute right now, but nothing stable so yet with that so far. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for price to gap either above or below the moving average, and then ultimately after it gaps, we'll be looking for the MA crossover with some RSI confluences. And so in this case, we have price gapping super hard in the upwards direction. So like, let's just play it after this trade. And so after this trade, price has a huge up move, gaps away from the moving average, and then at this RSI cross, at the price action cross here, and then at the cross of price on the moving average, we'll have to look at our RSI to confirm everything. And so ultimately with our RSI, there's 3 confluences, only 2 have to be met. The main 2 that have to be met is your RSI simple moving average, which is yellow line, and your whole suite, which is this line, and our RSI line is the purple. And so in this case, for a sell, we need our RSI line to be below both of these. And majority of the times you will be above the 50 if you're going for a sell, or below the 50 if you're going for a buy. But if you're able to get all 3 confluences pretty close to the moving average right here, that is a really good entry. But in this case, we only get 2 of the 3, and that's okay. What we'll ultimately do is we'll look to draw some structure. If you can't see it on the 1 minute, just pop up to the 5 minute. That's okay too, and draw your structure there. But in this case, I'm able to see, look left, and you see these wicks right here. And call me a cherry picker, but if you're able to grab this little wick right here, we can ultimately set this as a target, and we'd hit our 1.8 here. And so that would be a sell opportunity. And so we've gapped down decently well from the moving average now, and so we'll be looking for a cross, and the first cross would be here. But the problem with this is that if we look down at our RSI, we're not above our simple moving average yet, and so we get above our simple moving average after this cross here. And so we enter this trade. We go about a swing level, depending. The stop loss is very subjective, but just to get an idea, like this is where I put my stop loss. It's kind of hard when I'm looking left to see where structure would be at this point. And so if I would see it, it'd be this area here. And so I would just draw this just to encompass all those wicks and bring that all the way over here. And so I'd probably target somewhere in the middle there, going back on the 1 minute. And as you can see, if you target below, it's a 1.5. If you target at the top, it's a 2. If you target in the middle, it's about a 1.8. So either way, if you look whichever way you target, it's all three of those options. But I like to shoot for a 4 reward, but in this case, it just makes sense. Price is telling you that it's going to struggle at that zone, so you need to just take what the market can give you. And so that's what I'm going to look to do today. If I'm only in one trade for a long time, I'll shoot for a 4, I'll shoot for a 5 just to see if we could pass that free trial. But if I'm in multiple trades and they're all about 1.6, 1.7, then I'll close them because I've made my 5%. I don't really care if it takes one trade or if it takes 5 to make that. I'm just looking for very high quality trades. And so that was an easy example of how I'm going to be going about this. So what I'll do now is I'm going to go over all the pairs at this time, and I'm going to mark them. And so I'll mark them red if there's a chance I'll be getting a trade soon. I'll mark them blue if I'm about to get a trade. I'll mark them green if I'm in a trade. I've marked these pink because I don't really like to trade these pairs. EF and EG are snails, and AC and AN just never leave a good taste in my mouth, but that's just personal preference. And so what I'll do now is I'll look through these. So we just got our cross here, but it didn't really make a move. It's not really gapping all that hard. It's very consolidated right now. And so if we draw some lines, we could see right here and right here, it's literally been in this channel for a very long time. So I wouldn't look to trade anything until it could break that and start making some structure. And so looking at AJ, it's not really an option. It's kind of taken off from us, unfortunately. This would have been the entry at this point, but we're just not in the markets at this time, and it's okay. AU, it's not moving all that well, and we're still not below the simple moving average here. So ultimately, what I would like to see from it is a push down. It'll come up to retest. I'm gonna mark this red because what I see here is I want to see a push down to gap a little bit, and then I want to see it come and retest at 227, and then I want to see it break that low that it forms here. But we'll see if that happens. We shall see. It's bouncing off hard from the 227 on CF, so we're not really looking for that. We would have got an opportunity here or here if we would have been looking at CJ, but EuroCAD could be an opportunity because it's starting to gap now. It's starting to form some structure. It got out of this consolidated market, so we'll look for the downtrend for it to cross down, but we'll see how that goes. So all the JPY pairs are zooming. In this example, whenever price is just hugging this 227, just leave it be. There's no point in trying to force this. This just looks bad. Majority of all the pairs kind of look like this, where you're just in a channel. But hopefully the night is young, so hopefully it'll break out. But I'm gonna look through again just to make sure I'm not missing anything here. And like EA is just hugging the 227. I'd like to see it. So in this case, it'd be nice to see it like move down, come back and retest, and then I'll look to get into a sell once it breaks the structure. And that's not technically a part of Outback, but it's an addition, and it's a good confluence to add onto it, just to give yourself a better win rate and more confidence of taking that trade. I'm gonna mark Ian with red. It has moved up a decent bit, starting to gap away. EU's just not moving at all, so we're just a little hesitant on that. GA can just take off whenever it wants to, and so I'm very, very tempted to get into this trade, but we're just gonna ride it out. We're gonna see how the night takes us. After I've looked at it multiple times, just kind of scanning through it, what I'll do is I'll click this little flag button up here and it'll sort by flags, which is very nice. So now I'm able to have all the pairs that I've deemed potential trade opportunities all bunched up together. But yeah, guys, it might be a very slow night, it might be a very fast night, so we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna mute up, and the next time I talk and you'll hear me is an update, either a trade opportunity or something arising. So catch you soon. Started this session about 3 hours later, but it doesn't truly matter. You could trade Outback at whatever time. And so it might be a little bit better that we're starting now anyway, because we're getting close to the London Open. So we'll start to see more volatility and more volume anyway. And we wouldn't have to wait on very slow Asian price movement. That's why I usually wait until about 10 p.m. my time, which is about 4 hours left of Asian session to even look if I'm trading Asian session, because that's when the volume usually picks up if there's any volume at that time for me. So started this session about 3 hours later, but it doesn't truly matter. You could trade Outback at whatever time. And so it might be a little bit better that we're starting now anyway, because we're getting close to the London Open. So we'll start to see more volatility and more volume anyway. We wouldn't have to wait on very slow Asian price movement. That's why I usually wait until about 10 p.m. my time, which is about 4 hours left of Asian session to even look if I'm trading Asian session, because that's when the volume usually picks up if there's any volume at that time for me. So getting back into it. So as you can see here on TradingView, kind of a little late to the party. I was too busy trying to add more pairs to my watch list and not actually seeing what price was actually doing. And GF had broken out. We're still in a little bit of profit, as you could see down there, but we'd be a lot more secure at this time, which sucks a little bit, but it's okay. Like at the end of the day, we're not too far away from where we would have been. So we just won't get as much. We potentially won't get as much reward if the price favors us. And so without further ado, let me go to the 5 minute, because it'll actually be a little more clear. So what I want to do is I preemptively always set like a 4 reward, but for the sake of things, just to be more realistic and just take what price wants to give us, basically is what I'm trying to say. Is you could look here like in this, because you see this huge wick, this bounce back, and then you could also look down here. So I like to mark them with alerts, and it kind of gives me like a little layer to take profit area. I know that whenever I get an alert, I know that it's at like a major level, or it could potentially bounce back against me or in my favor if it keeps sliding through. But it just gives me an idea, because I'm always looking at other pairs to check back on this. So the first level, as you can see, is 1.5, and the second level is probably about 2.3. So anywhere around here, I'll probably be looking to get out. 1.5 is heavily congested, so I'm kind of leaning towards that one whenever I get this alert, just to take it out and just claim my profits. But we'll see how it goes. So looking at everything else, as you can see, GJ just popped too. So let me get into that trade really quick. I swear, like once one trade pops, they all pop. So now I'm in GJ. I got in here right at the candle close, and I put my stop loss right above here, which is about like 18 pip stop loss. So what I'll be looking at, same thing here. Let me mark this to where I'm in the trade, but let me just make sure I'm not seeing. AF is taken off, but I'm already in GF, so that's okay. I'm not able to get both of these, but can't get them all. Like I said, they all move quick, so maybe look to get AJ. I'll throw that there. What is EJ looking like? EJ is kind of struggling. We're just gonna take that out because we have enough things on our plate anyway. AF took off, so we're gonna take that out. Ian's actually doing pretty well, but the problem is we're kind of far away from that. I like to see it come back here and then move up, so I might be looking into this trade a little more. But we have 2 blues, which is 2 potential trades that we'll probably get into. UCAD looks really good. I'm actually down to get into UCAD because it's going to bring me to the next topic that I was going to talk about, recover. So let me get into that. So we got in here, and we got in about right here. Our stop is about here. Looking this way. If you look left, you can see there was a huge resistance right here. Keep moving left, big support here. So like this is a pretty big level, so I'm cool with that. Okay, so there's a lot of things happening, a lot of moving parts, and so I'm just actually gonna chill out, kind of breathe for a second, because that's what's a little bit annoying about the strategy is like once one trade starts happening, they all just start following suit, and so you got to be pretty quick with it. It's a lot of it could be a lot of sitting around, but whenever the action happens, it happens. And so UCAD, it's about 1.6 or 1.5 actually, take profit. So that could be a really good level, even up here as well, which would probably be like a 2.5. If I look, yeah. But we're gonna target that 1.5 first, because we're in 3 trades now. So if I can get 1.5 for 3 trades, I'll be close to that 5% profit target for the free trial for FTMO. So looking at GJ, looking about right here could be a pretty, I'd say it's not the strongest support, but it could be a level that we struggle at, and then ultimately down here would be an ideal take profit area, which is about 3.7. So that's what we're going to be hoping for. GJ, like I said, GF, we have everything set up here, and UCAD is just tanking, unfortunately, but it's all good. AJ is kind of AJ's basically bounced off the moving average, and Ian is struggling a little bit. It's looking like we might lose our UCAD trade, unfortunately. Yeah, it's probably about to hit it. It's probably gonna hit the stop loss like within the minute, but that's okay. Just way more trades. Yeah, so we just got taken out of UCAD, which is very unfortunate. Let's take that off. Ian's kind of being weird, so we're gonna take that off. And we're gonna mark this red for AJ because it's no longer blue. Because I like to mark things blue whenever there's a potential chance that I'm about to get in the trade within like the minute or minutes. But that wasn't really the case, and there was a lot of fake outs that happened just now, like crossover fake outs, especially all the red pairs that I was looking at. We had EA here, which we unfortunately missed because of just all the mess, but you might actually look to get into this if it could bounce. It's been a little too rangy for my liking with EA, because EA usually just takes off, especially like right here during London and here. Still, like, it kind of struggled, but still it's very trendy. So at the beginning of London, aka like 15 minutes from now, we're going to be really looking at this pair to try and catch that huge move that it can make. So looking at the bottom, GJ is struggling, but we'll see how it goes. GF is doing pretty decent. It's kind of holding its weight. So my logic for EA is this. Once it breaks above this line, I'll take the buy. So I'm going to mark it here, because this is another way you can also trade the Outback, is once you get an actual entry, quote unquote entry, because this does tick the criteria for going long. A safe way of going about this is waiting for the initial pump up and to come back down to retest, and then if price is then able to bounce up and break the high that it created, you could be in a trending market. So we're gonna test that scenario out with EA if it's able to come back and break that high. I think I just lost my second trade. Yeah, I just got out. So 2 trades, 2 losses. That's what I'm talking about. 2 losses in a row, baby. Can't win them all, which is okay. I'm not really worried about that, because this can be you can catch a lot of home runs with the Outback. So really not much to say here. It's just we tried to catch the cross and we just missed it. Unfortunately, it will probably, what will happen is it'll probably end up playing around here a few times before it decides to actually make its move down if it wants to. So we'll look for some more opportunities of entry. So we have now reached London Open, and as you can see, the trades are favoring me very heavily. GJ is starting to go down, and GF is obviously starting to go down a lot too. And so we're getting pretty close to this level, which I'm pretty afraid of, to be honest with y'all. So if I get to this level, there's a good chance I might just take out. Every time it's gotten to this level, it's just completely bounced off. If we go to the 5-minute, as you can see here, it hasn't. I mean, there's a chance, but I'm gonna be very cautious about holding this trade past this line because it has struggled the last 2 times in breaking that. But if it would break that, that would be very advantageous for us. But I got into another GJ trade just because this happens a lot. Like sometimes you miss the first entry, wicks you out. Basically, your stop loss, and your second entries is the one that actually goes through. And so I'm hoping that's the case for this, and we'll see. Only time will tell. Hopefully London is very nice to us, and we're going to go from there. So EA did kind of push up, and it's pushing up now. And so I'll actually look to potentially get into a trade because now we're forming some structure, but it's also wicking pretty hard right now. And so it's kind of hard to tell. If it's able to break above this and close, then I might be pretty interested in trading this, but we'll see. I'll still mark it up on MT4 just in case. Yeah, it's going high, so we're gonna actually take this for sure. So it comes here, and we got it about here, and our stop loss. Looking at MT4, our stop loss is about here. So looking left for EA, our first problem would be here, as I see. So I'll mark that. But yeah, I think ultimately we'll probably just try and go for a 1 to 2 at this time. So basically, at straight 504. I'm gonna mark a 2 reward for EA. I'm not gonna try and get too fancy with this one. It's not even going in our favor at this point in time, but we'll see how it goes. We're gonna mark this green on our charts. And looking at GJ and GF, they're doing great in our favor. It's just EA needs to kick it up a little bit. So we'll see from there. GF is just hard tanking. If this hits 3%, I'm probably just gonna take out here because I'm getting a little greedy at this point, and I don't want to be. Yes, I'm out. I'm out of here. I basically got 2.5%. Looking here, I have 3 trades so far. I've lost 2 and I won 1, so I'm up about 394 just because of commissions. But yeah, GJ is working really good in my favor. I wanted to get out of GF. It was doing great, and like it's still doing great, but I'm already in GJ as well, and I wanted to at least secure something for me. That way, I can help mitigate the the unfortunate losses that I took. And so I'm also very happy to take out from this level too, because as you saw, like I had marked up here, and it was struggling to break this area. So I'm cool. I'm cool with taking this out. Did I leave some profit on the table? Potentially, but money's money. So looking at the other trades, GJ is kind of stalled, and EA is kind of struggling as well. So this might not have been the best move, but we'll see how it goes. I'm optimistic, but looking at everything else, you had an AJ cross, but it's not really knowing what it wants to do. So I'm just gonna take that off. Actually, I'm not really interested in that anymore as of now. CJ crossed, but we kind of missed the move already. If it comes back, I'm gonna actually mark this blue, because if it comes back for a retest, then we might be cooking. But I'm actually kind of cool where I'm at, so we're gonna flag that. We're gonna sort by flags. I've gotten back in profit, as you can see in the bottom of the screen. EA made a little resurgence. as EA made a resurgence, GJ kind of fell off a little bit. We're just looking, like I said, we're looking for just for a 2 for EA because I'm not really looking to get all that aggressive with it. But yeah, we're gonna look for like a 1.5 to a 2, and then look for about a 3 here, and that'd be super cool if both these trades hit. That way we'll be able to pass our quote-unquote free trial challenge, but we'll see what the pairs decide to give to us. This is pretty nice. I just got an alert and I got out of, well, I took profit for EA. As you can see here, I had marked this area that I was kind of worried about price getting to, and I just wanted to be able to get to that point. And so this retest inevitably ended up working. So in the case this was our long entry, I waited for the first push. I then marked the area where the candle closed, so bar closed, and then so I waited to see if there was a rejection on the line, and then for it to break this previous high, which it did, and then I entered in this trade. So this is another kind of like addition of trading Outback in a way of having another kind of price action confluence in a sense. And as you could see, I was able to get my 2. If I were to have stayed in this trade, the next level would have been here. As you could see, like this area, which it just hit. So it would only been about 0.5 more percent. But then ultimately I would have loved to have reached this area. Watch, it just smokes that too, which would have been a 3. I would have gained like 1 more percent, but it's all good. I was able to get in and out and make my 2%, call it a day. We're still in a GJ sell. It's kind of struggle. It's on the struggle bus as of now. I fat fingered going into GC because I was going into it and then I realized I was in a GJ sell, and then I was like, do I want to hedge it? And this trade is taking off. Just to show, I had it here and I was going to go for about a 1.5, which it's probably going to hit now that I'm out of the trade for sure. It's getting very close, but I was kind of scared of this area when I was in the trade, which is about like 0.7. I was going to go for a 1.5 tops because looking left, there was a pretty big area here. So a little unfortunate, but what can you do? What can you do? The trade that I stay in is now struggling, as you can see from the bottom section there, and the one that I fat fingered and hurry up and took out before any mistakes were made is the one that actually pumps. So a little annoying. We're now around the break-even point, slightly negative for GJ. It just seems that the pound caught wind of something. It just got super strong, and so there's a pretty solid chance that I'll get stopped out here, but I'm gonna let this trade run though, because it's not good to take out early for things. Yeah, a little annoyed that this happened, but it is what it is. So we'll just keep looking because we're up 2.5% on our account now, pending GJ plays nice, but we'll try and look for another like 2%, 1.5%, 2%, and go from there. I've lost 2 trades, I've won 2 trades, and I guess you can call this a break even. So I'm 2 and 2 for a 2.5% gain so far. GJ's holding on to its legs. It's struggling, but it ain't doing that bad. And so that's the good thing about this in this scenario of this hedge is that if GJ starts doing well, price will go down and GU will go down. So I'll never really have that break of this structure to even take a trade. But if GJ still starts to struggle, then GU would inevitably be going up, and I'll be able to enter the buy to try and hedge that sell. So I don't recommend hedging. And I also want to bring up something as well is currency correlations. And so you have to be very, very careful of this in the case that currency correlations. So with an if you're looking for an E long like we were in this case, then you're assuming that the Aussie dollar is going to be weak or that the euro is going to be strong. But for the case of the Aussie, so if the Aussie dollar is weak, price will go up. If the Aussie dollar is weak for AU, price will go down. So whenever you take a long for EA and a short for AU, you're technically risking the same thing. So you're double risking because you're assuming that the Aussie dollar is going to be weak. So please bear in mind, I don't mind doing these type of trades, but please note that this can happen for you. And so if you're wondering why it is the way that it is, it's currency correlations. If one goes down, then the other will go up. So just give y'all an idea about that. So looking like we'll be able to enter this trade, place this trade here. I put my stop loss under the moving average. Looking left, I'm just going to go on the 5-minute just to make my life easier so I could see everything better. And I'm curious to see how it handles here. So I'm now in a GU long, and I'm also in a GJ short. So we're going to see how that all folds out for us. Well, a lot of things are transpiring right now. As you can see, I lost my GU trade, which is unfortunate, but GJ started happening. GJ started melting down, which is good. And then I got into an NC trade, and one candle just threw me kind of for a loop. I'm still in the trade, and I have faith that it'll come down. But as of now, it's in CAD is struggle busing, and I'm in a GJ. I'm still in that GJ short. So I'm looking for it to hit this 2.3 mark, and hopefully it can come down even further to hit this. Basically, this alert is a 4R trade, which it can easily happen because it can easily come back into this channel. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Just kind of wanted to give you all a little update on what's happened. So just to look down here at the screen, we had our 2.5 win on GF. We've had 2 losses. Then we got our 2 losses back with the EA win on 2% for a buy. And then we had that break-even accidental fat finger, which actually went to our way. And then GU, we got into a loss just now. So yeah, that is the recap so far. We are 2 and 3. We're still 1.5% up, and we have 2 running trades so far. So a little side note, I took out my trade with NC, and this is probably going to be the case where it finally decides to make a move. It was just utterly frustrating seeing how well NC was doing. And yeah, look, as you could see, it finally, the timing was incredible actually, but whatever. GJ is looking really good as of now. We are approaching around 4% on the account, and so we need just 1 more %. And so looking to scrape that by here, but ultimately I might just call it soon. I'm pretty happy with 4%, to be honest with y'all. If this is able to hit my next alert, we're just gonna give it a few more minutes to see if GJ still has a little bit of move left, which I don't know. It's been heavy tanking, but it's starting to find some legs. But it's slowly deteriorating right now, and I mean, there's not much more than we can ask for this trade, to be honest, but maybe one last push, who knows. I like to see a little 3K push, but we're about 1K, we're about 1% away from passing our challenge tonight, which would be really awesome, but I don't know if there's any more opportunities that look good, because all the moves have kind of already transpired. But we're going to try and grab a little 3K from this trade. We're at 2,800. We're nearly there. So we're going to look to see. If it goes above 25, we're just going to take out and call it a day. But I think it'll push down to 3K and we can potentially close it out. But just looking everywhere else though, I'm not really seeing anything. All the moves have kind of happened for today, and there was a lot of moves that we just unfortunately just missed just because we were either entering other trades that didn't really work out as well and or just simply missing it. And so it's starting to move up, and that's no bueno for us. So we're gonna look, I'm gonna move my take profits all the way up to about 3K. And we're going to wrap it up there. So as you could see from the bottom, I think this trade definitely has more in it, but I am cool with wrapping up 4% gain. So let me just make the screen bigger, that way y'all can see this easier. So for a span about 2.5 hours, what we were able to do here is just, let me make this bigger so you can see easier. We're able to get 4,000 profits, so 4%. That wraps up this. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I know this is going to be a very long video, and I'm sorry. If you like this content, if you like this strategy, feel free to join TTF. I am very, very passionate about this strategy because it's my baby that I made, and I'm finding a lot of success, and a lot of members are finding success too. And it's just an easy avenue to talk about the strategy, try and improve it more, because there's always something that you can improve with this, especially this. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next vid. Peace.